Aloha and welcome to the Anatomy of Confidence. Before we get started, just taking some deep, slow inhales and exhales. As if you could breathe through the bottoms of your feet. Invoking the energies of the earth to rise and meet your feet. Grounding any excess energy in the nervous system. And connecting with the energy of source within, allowing this to fill every cell of your being, more of who you are. Commanding and requesting that this session be the most miraculous, transformative, healing, integrative, and embodying, initiating session for causeless confidence, for regenerative radiance, the fullest expression and capacity of this transmission at this time. Thank you, Shomi. Finding any tension in the body, resting, relaxing, unwinding. All patterns of tension that are incongruent and incompatible to who you are and who you are becoming. And just recognizing that patterns of tension can change from moment to moment, day to day, as you are shifting, evolving, and upgrading, activating in this body. What once worked for you may no longer work for you. And honoring that is one of the key tenets to confidence. Kon with fid, faith, trust, ence, the emergence. With faith and trust, you emerge. If you want to boil down this entire class and just stop after I say this, you can. The only thing preventing you from confidence is stagnancy. And just asking yourself this question out loud. Where am I stagnant? Please show me the stagnancy within that I am able and ready to resolve to completion at this time. Notice that the stagnancy has a quality of shame to it. Shame or regret or guilt. Shame is the quality of something being the same over and over and over again. Repetition can inspire consciousness, and it can also inhibit it. And the only difference is when you get tired of doing the same thing. Key part of the formula of confidence is to emerge, which is a process, which is movement, which is change. So where in your life are you refusing to change? Perhaps you don't even want to look at it. Sometimes this can be so repressed within the energy of our being that 99.99% of us even completely forgets about it. But 100% of your potential is now quarantined in that 0.01% of consciousness that's ready to fully expand into the next level of who you're here to become. Because it is in the becoming, it is in the process that true confidence is remembered. So many people try to locate confidence as an endpoint. If I do this, I'll be confident. Once I get there, I'll be confident. And it's not that these things can't give you an experience of confidence, but it is an experience of confidence. And any experience has a beginning and an end. So if you want to experience confidence, have at it. And there's nothing wrong with experiencing confidence. What I'm going to point here to today is that there is an experience of confidence, and then there is that which contains the experience, which you can always be confident that it is there. Because consistency breeds confidence. And what's most interesting about shame, regret, and guilt is that these energies are the repressed energy of confidence. It's confidence in its inverted state. Because you're absolutely sure that you should regret it, that you should feel guilty, that you should feel shameful. So it's not that confidence is or is not where you are. It's the quality of confidence that we are witnessing through the lenses of perception. And those three centers of perception are the mind, heart, and the gut. A lot of the issues that people try to resolve and feel that they need to attain more confidence in order to move forward in their life reside in the mind. And again, it's not that the mind is wrong, but this binary system of looking at things will not result in the realization, the assimilation of the intelligence of your being, which includes confidence. And many heart-centered beings will utilize another binary in order to attain confidence. And this is where most of the spiritual community sits, in the heart. And this binary is whether you have an open or a closed heart. And when you close your heart as something that is opposite of an open heart, you're just choosing to distort the lens of confidence that you view the world and yourself through. Because it's all iterative, it's all experimental. It's not right or wrong to have a closed heart. In fact, I dare you to sit here right now and have a closed heart. Try it. What does that even mean? To have a closed heart? Your heart is naturally however it is right now. If you're angry with me, you don't have a closed heart, you're just naturally angry. You're experiencing anger right now. But the problem, just like guaranteed none of you were feeling angry, with fully allowing something to exist, you're no longer experiencing it because there's a part of you that is constantly on the lookout to prevent a certain experience from happening. So when you're always on the lookout for whether your heart is open or closed, gauging whether you're performing to this standard, whomever said it, in the midst of doing all of that, you're experiencing what it would be like if you had a closed heart. There is simply the heart, and it is naturally however it is right now. The concept of an open or a closed heart is within a binary system that translates the intelligence that you are into form. And it is translating it through a particular window that you're looking through. But we have to go deeper in order to experience a confidence that is causeless. There's confidence as the space, and there's confidence as the things that fill it. Your consistency in your daily life with the things that you want to develop as a soul, that provides you the things that fill the space with experiences of confidence. And based on your performance, they can be given or taken away. And given the context of consensus reality, which is what we are exiting at this time in the collapse of understanding and stories, we are integrating into the gut. We are actualizing our intelligence. Into a confidence that doesn't need to move in any direction in order to be witnessed. For example, this class itself came to me, the anatomy of confidence. Great. Awesome. Feels really great. What am I going to do for it? No idea. Did I write the booklet for this class prior to it? Most of it. But I woke up this morning completely blank again. Because everything is iterative and emerging. In the binary system, there's this or that. So if I was within the software of a binary system, trying to engage this interaction between us all, I would either be prepared or I would not be prepared to deliver this message. Within the quantum system, which is what everything is being upgraded into, everything that is binary is being made congruent and compatible to a quantum system. So I am prepared. I am not prepared. I am prepared and not prepared simultaneously. And I am not prepared and not prepared also simultaneously. And all of those things I'm also doing simultaneously. within a binary system, you can learn and explore two options that give you two outputs of information, which is called throughput. It is the amount of information that you are capable of bringing through. In a binary system of right and wrong, good or bad, the availability of options is very limited. So I do not speak of right or wrong or good or bad. I speak of efficiency and inefficiency, because in the transition between binary and quantum, it was simply the understanding of efficiency that drove us to the new system. Is it efficient for me to constantly be managing whether my heart is closed or open? No. Can I withstand the capacity of everything that this feels? Can I be what remains consistent across every transition in the mind and the heart? That is called presence. And that is what we are integrating into. Can I be present with the things that most people prefer to feel here in equal proportion to the amount that I can be present to what feels horrendous? And that process is iterative. You don't have to get it right, because getting it right is understanding that from the binary system. In the quantum system, the iterative process that is life is revered to a whole new degree. And the throughput, or the amount of information that can come through a channel, which we are all channels here, channels of information. We are all actualizing our intelligence by considering all of the different options that we are exploring. And the reason why time seems to be experienced differently right now is because we are moving from the binary system to the quantum system. The amount of data that can be explored in a binary system is much smaller. So time seemed to occur with greater length to it. But we are shortening the distance between choice points, which is what actually creates the experience in this reality of time. The more choice points you have compacted into a moment, the more expansive, limitless, timeless it feels. So as the cosmic activations are hitting the planet, what we can call ascension, has a quantum frequency. There's more information available to be digested. So the binary system cannot be utilized. And this is what I call the collapse of understanding. And this really experience in physical really began in 2020. And that's when all the information that was coming into the field could be explored in all these various iterations, and all those iterations could be provable based on a certain set of data that you were looking at. And I mean this literally and figuratively. Whatever series of things that you are subscribed to will determine the information that you're working with in your unique iterative process. So you can be confident, you cannot be confident. That becomes a singular data point. You can be confident and not confident simultaneously. That becomes its own data point. Now, do you see how these 2 points can also be interrelated? So that's just the very beginning of how this all works. So there are multiple ways, multi-dimensional ways of looking at things. But the process that's occurring now is pan-dimensionality, when we are bringing all of these dimensions simultaneously into one unit of exploration called a human body. And this is something that has never been done before. So especially right now, fully integrating and understanding the iterative process of life is paramount to your success at this time. If you are still relying on systems of this or that in order to measure quality of your life, you will drive yourself insane. I came into this world completely assimilated into the quantum system. I really didn't understand what it was like to live fully and completely in the binary system until the last couple of years. And pulling myself through that system back to what feels natural to me is allowing me to assist and guide you through this process with more grace, ease, and mercy. Things can come up about better or less than. The binary system is not less than or wrong in comparison to the quantum system that we are upgrading and activating into. It's just no longer efficient. And the beauty of this is what gets released, transformed, and resolved through this wormhole between the binary and quantum systems is everything that cannot make it within that quantum system, which are qualities of shame, guilt, and regret, and also jealousy. And it's not that shame, regret, jealousy, or whatever the other one that I can't remember right now is wrong. These are just mistranslations. It's like me trying to read a book in Japanese. I'm not going to be able to compute what is coming through the inputs. It's just not going to make sense. And that's a really good example because of the way language informs our reality. In these languages that are expressed as really pictures of what something is that they're describing, that is a quantum understanding of something being delivered. Because there are so many more data points that are being expressed in a picture than in one single word. Now, of course, each of us has our own experience with each word. This is important because as we move further into the quantum system being integrated, the more our intelligence is actualized, the more unique each individual will become. Earlier, I was sharing that each polarity in the binary system becomes a single data point in the quantum system, and these things are interrelated. As we individuate, we actually come closer together in community because I represent everything that I have expressed, experienced in my own iterative process. And that is like a certain file that we're all interacting with here as I'm expressing. Energetically, we are all interacting. All of your data points are being compared and contrasted and connected and interwoven with everyone else here. And since we are all on a path of expansion and emergence, the only thing that can result is more confidence. Because confidence is in the process. It is in the movement, but it takes confidence to move it. And it is faith and trust in the benevolence of life in every iteration. We have to see every data point as good. Even if it didn't feel good, it was part of the iterative process that catalyzed you. And like the angels told me when I was a little kid, no matter how much or little love you receive, always give more. In this orientation towards life, darkness has no power. It only serves to catalyze more of who you are into form. Now, this also needs to be updated. This idea of light and dark, still a binary system. Darkness is simply the absence of, and light is simply the thing. So you could say that darkness is the space and light is the thing, the activity. Confidence, there's the space that is the confidence that is the space, and the confidence that is the activity. Light is the activity of space. And that movement creates friction, and that friction creates a frequency that you interpret as light. And darkness is not beneficial. And light isn't more beneficial than darkness. Because when you collapse that binary, they're simply one data point that you are considering. And with the quantum system, there are all these other options. And it can be hard to understand what this really means, which is on purpose. So if you're not understanding this, it's on purpose. And if you do understand it, where are you actually understanding that from? Locate it inside of your being, because guaranteed it's not in your head. That part of you will attempt to try and understand. But in a world of excessive information, understanding became inefficient. Exploration of options and iterative processes became more efficient. It is actually more efficient to run simulations of different options than to try to just understand one. And bringing all of this into presence. The collapse of understanding. Felt by confusion. Confusion is how the binary system feels as it's moving through the wormhole of transition into the quantum system. The binary cannot understand the quantum. And so confusion is the way that it scrambles that information, and then it gets defragmented along with more options than you thought were possible. And now you can explore life through a lens that at this moment you cannot yet perceive. So allow for confusion. Don't let confusion stop you from being confident. In fact, it's the sign, the evidence that your confidence is being upgraded. Ironically, through action, through consistency, by moving through an experience, you teach yourself, oh my God, I can do that. But what I'm here to say is, why can't we be just as confident about going through a process as we are once we are on the other side. And sometimes that takes just enough times of going through a process and finally making it through that you're like, okay, how many times do I have to do this before I actually just have trust and faith in my emergence? Confidence. Now, we can source this individually, which takes a process, or I can source it collectively. There's plenty of confidence in the world. How can I utilize those lenses to perceive what I am experiencing in my own life? The addiction to crisis, to war, to struggle, to economic decline, all of the issues that you can possibly think of right now is simply a lack of confidence. Specifically economically. The dollar's value is literally only linked to confidence. It has no intrinsic value. But we are confident that it will be received as value. And any of you that have taken my classes, like Anatomy of Awakening, you know that presence is that which only receives value. That's quantum. A binary, there's victim or victimizer. In the quantum, there's simply value and virtue. And you don't need to resolve the victim or the victimizer. All you need to do is see value and virtue through them. Everything that you don't feel confident about, you feel victimized by. Regret is actually the most conscious form. With regret, there's an awareness to a pattern. And that pattern is, that doesn't feel good. The further we do not see value in regret, it becomes shame. And sometimes that shame becomes so compressed that we don't even notice it anymore. And all of these are based in one simple idea that once I say it, you'll know exactly why they're no longer functioning and efficient. Because all of these are based in some part of you seeking to be right in opposition to being wrong. In the exploration of life in a binary system, while that was efficient and useful, was great. It was powerful. Imagine a system of chaos that did not have any structure or forward movement. It was just pieces moving like this. A moral code created a structure. It created the line within the space of experience. And you can either be on this side or that side. You choose. It was very efficient for the time. Now it's like we're in a Los Angeles highway. Not that that sounds desirable, but there's like 20 lanes of traffic. And all of them are going to the same place, forward. Which lane do you like to drive in? I like to drive in the fast lane. Is that better or less than any other lane? No. Some of the most important things actually must travel in the far right lane. Just as valuable. It's carrying all, you could think of this truck as carrying the values and virtues that need to be delivered to society. It is just as valuable as me and my little car driving fast all the way in the left lane. All of these various iterations are all moving in the same direction. And I use this example a lot, but it's so important to understand. Plants utilize quantum mechanics by only observing the pathway of the light that is received by its receptors to create chlorophyll. Its efficiency is near 100%. Source, in exploring all of its iterations that we are experiencing as each of us together here, we're all seeds of that consciousness, different data points that this consciousness that we are all part of is utilizing to expand itself, to emerge. We and ourselves are our own iterative processes, but we are only being observed within the most efficient path to love, to aloha. So whether it feels good or bad, you like it or you don't, This is the most efficient path. I used to say that to myself as a kid all the time, not knowing why I was saying it. This must be the most efficient path. All right, just moving forward. And what's funny is my whole early life, I constantly was getting the reflection that I was cocky and arrogant. And a binary system perceiving a quantum system, I could easily see how that could be perceived that way. Because I wasn't referencing what was right or wrong, good or bad. I was simply in the exploration of my own emergence. And I had full faith and trust in that process. And I'm just witnessing these files being wiped from your field. That require you to get things right in opposition to getting them wrong. This stifles your ability to emerge in quantum reality. Not so confident about what is in there right now. So how do we resolve? How do we bring resolution? How do we actualize our intelligence inside a body that is encoded with the binary system? I didn't escape binary codings. I was extremely confident in what I was born connected to. I didn't know how to explain it. My journey has always been finding the words to finally explain how I've always felt and seen the world. And that's my own experience of emergence. But I still had to resolve a ridiculous amount of binary codings, and I'm still resolving them. One of the most important reasons why I'm so public with so many different things about my personal journey is because many spiritual teachers will not share with you where they are right now in their experience, and it gives you the illusion, and it continues the binary system where you're trying to move away from what's wrong into what's more right. And that will keep you forever looping, forever finding yourself with distance between A and B. You are every single data point. God is an integer, is all positive and negative integers to infinity. And each one of those integers is a data point of experience, and experience is limitless, infinite in both directions, what you could think of as positive and negative experiences. When you bring all of those together, if you were to bring every point of consciousness that has ever existed in this universe together, there would be no experience. Separation is natural. I love seeing that on juices. Life codes things right in front of your eyes. You just have to pay attention. Separation is natural. We want to explore differentiation, and we want to do it within the context of communion. You can no longer resource someone else's intelligence. I'm not even sharing this so that you can understand it in my way. I'm sharing it with you so that you can put the pieces together of the concepts, the energy, the understanding of the architecture, so that you can apply your own thoughts, feelings, experiences in your own iterative process. We're all interacting together in order for this emergence to occur. So in that understanding of various perspectives of experience, as you are in your process of emerging, there have been experiences that you regret, that you feel shameful about, that you feel guilty about. And that's sort of past oriented. Then there's looking ahead, and it's jealousy. And there are all these various comparisons to where you're at right now in your own emergence. And it's like you're competing with yourself, which within a binary system, that makes sense because you're competing with past versions of yourself to become better, which is an iterative process, just in self-depreciating way. Regret is just a mistranslation of value. You are now different. If you weren't different, you wouldn't be able to see what needed or could have been different. And so you're translating that information as something bad. That doesn't mean that you want to repeat that iteration. But it doesn't mean that you're bad. And you bring that forward. And we're going to do this whole process that came to me. Because as my consciousness was coming in to the body, remember, you are not what is healing. You are not what is resolving. You are not even what is awakening. You are that resolution. And as the resolution that you are comes into your body, it flushes out of the cells of your being all that is incongruent and incompatible to who you are and who you are becoming. And you perceive everything that's arising up as you come down as something that's an incoming experience. It's actually an outgoing experience. It's what's leaving your body. Regret is noticing that something could have been different. That is valuable data. You can process that. It's called remorse. But remorse isn't the only way to process that. within that context, if you can feel what I'm sharing here, it's still within that binary. But it's also part of the resolution of the binary into the quantum. And the way we do that is I purify my being with these frequencies. In the binary system, it's like this or that, right? So we have to extract something in order to be on the other side. We have to release it. We have to reiki it away. We have to, psilocybin it to oblivion. Impermanent. I purify my being with these frequencies, with this emotion, with this thought. So just bringing into your awareness whatever comes up most. And for those of you that feel nothing is arising, just holding space. What do you feel most shameful about? What would you not want anyone to know? And what you're saying when you say, I purify my being with these frequencies, is you are claiming, anchoring, and integrating the purity of your being, which doesn't mean right or wrong purity. It simply means that you are not recognizing any of these aspects as fragmented, and you are not going to subscribe to further fragmenting them from your totality, from your pan-dimensionality. To be multidimensional is to reside within many different dimensions. To be pan-dimensional is to really expand your being, to include, to expand your aura, to include all the things that you think give or take away value from your being. Breathing into every aspect of your life that you have felt shameful or guilty or regretful of, breathing into these spaces, the breath of life that you are. Shame, guilt, regret, jealousy, they are all restrictions in your field. And they've become so fragmented from who you are that you wish to remove them. And I am suggesting to purify your being with them. When I was a child, I knew my innocence. I remember hearing in church this concept of original sin, that you are born with sin. And I immediately was like, I don't think so. I was born originally innocent, and this bullshit is what's making me feel weird. I purify my being with these frequencies. It gets to come along. I used to purposefully make choices that were counter to what most people considered innocent, knowing that by being the innocence that I am, exploring those choices would extend compassion to them. Because nothing I could do could separate me from that innocence as a quantum system. And then I learned that I didn't need to explore the iterations of the archetypes of the rebel or the hero within that context of trying to mitigate an activity that I was trying to stop, namely this idea of something was wrong with me inherently. Probably the deepest wounding in my own personal journey. But what's funny about that is I was still witnessing, I was exploring, I was researching the binary iterative process. And now I get to include even that idea that something is wrong with me. Now it doesn't matter. Because it doesn't matter if there's something wrong with you. The idea or feeling that something is wrong with you is just with you so that when you fully accept it, you know what you're capable of containing as the spaciousness of confidence that you are, that you can emerge from anything with faith and trust. So, what stories do you keep replaying that you are ready to emerge from? Sometimes the easiest way to emerge from shame, from guilt, regret, even from jealousy, is to slow down. Breathe slower, deeper, and refuse to take action until the experience of shame, guilt, regret, or jealousy has passed. It's just information that you're exploring, that you're interfacing with. What would it be like if I felt horrible about myself. Can I include that in my emergence, or am I trying to quarantine it as something that should not happen? Which, when you're doing that, you're going to look at everything and hope to God not to find it, which is going to put you on high alert to find it. So you don't even necessarily need to know how to engage with any of these things that come up in your reality that you don't feel confident about. Just breathe fully into them. How shameful can I get with this? How much regret can I hold? When your orientation towards life is to include, to be inclusive of, that consistency in your reality will give you a confidence that can't be given or taken away. Because it doesn't matter what's going on inside your reality. What causes or effects are showing up. You're just confident that you're going to be with yourself. You have faith and trust that you will be with yourself through every emergence. You are that which maintains constancy across every transition. Confidence isn't something that you need to create when it's what's looking through your eyes and hearing through your ears and speaking through your mouth, feeling through your body. Sometimes when clients are really shaken up about life, I like to get really Saturnian and say, well, you'll either make it through or you'll die. It's literally the two options. It's like, you will make it through this or you will die. And just interfacing with reality in that way will give you confidence. And of course, there are many more options to explore in that moment besides those two, but getting things very stark and contrast-y will allow you to interface with it properly. Because anything that you don't feel confident about, in large part, is just something that you're avoiding. And in a process of emergence, what is being avoided is not emerging. Of course, you're not feeling confident about it. So bring it along with you. Taking some deep, slow inhales and exhales, as if you could breathe through the bottoms of your feet. How am I this confident? Asking a question like this will give you information, experiences of why, how you are as confident as you are. Discover what you're good at. From a purely practical standpoint, double down on what you are good at. This idea that you have to be good at everything is inappropriate. And it's inappropriate because it doesn't allow for the iterative process. You think I just magically started channeling for groups like this? I mean, actually, I kind of did, but I had to show up as part of an iterative process. And every time I've done this over the years, I'm reminded of emergence. And I'm reminded of something that is emerging that is far more expansive than just what is contained within this body. I'm not constantly in this transmission space that I'm in. I would find it boring. I like to explore. I like to put things out there that may not have been heard before. Because what am I doing? I'm testing the template. If you've been in sessions with me before, you will know what I mean by that. A template test. Receive an upgrade, and you will immediately call upon a template test to come and test the new software. Is this functioning in the highest capacity that it can? That's part of the iterative process. So in 2018-19, when I did my first public group event on Oahu, I was just told, sign up to teach a class at this expo. And I'm like, okay, like, I don't know what I'm going to do. Just show up. Okay. Awesome. Great. Perfect. No idea what I'm going to talk about. I'm going live on the internet with hundreds of people watching while there's 30 people in front of me expecting me to channel something, which I've never done in a group setting before. Cool. And I get up and I sit in the chair and I'm like, press record. Nothing. Now I'm on the spot, like, okay. And I'm literally internally talking to, I mean, I experience it as myself, but you could say God or your higher self or whatever. And I'm just like, okay, you better, like, this, like, we're here, you better do something, because all these people are expecting something and nothing's happening. And I just sat there and I waited. A pause is the most confident thing that you can do in your life. You don't need to fill the space with information unless it actually resonates. And you will know if it resonates by it leaving and resonating through you. So if it doesn't actually feel like there's a response coming through, maybe no response is needed. When you're talking to your friends and they're sharing with you something that is painful, just listening can bring resolution to their being. In part because you are allowing them to emerge. You are listening to their emergence. You are listening to their confidence. See how we're pulling all of these ideas, beliefs, conclusions, understandings, perspectives, or perceptions, identities, and attachments related or associated to confidence that are incongruent and incompatible to who you are and who you are becoming. Because it is not about attaining or being a particular way that is confidence. It is the process and allowing of the emergence. And you are giving someone confidence when you listen to them. By trusting in the emergence of what's resonating for them at that time. Some other really important practical applications of confidence that you may not be aware of is mineralization of the body. Minerals are energetic support. It's how we feel supported. When we are highly mineralized in the body, we experience feeling support. And when you begin your process of remineralizing, because the soils are so depleted, your body, more likely than not, is also depleted of minerals. And this depletion equates to a sense and feeling in the body of being unsupported. And when you start to remineralize, it will, as the support comes into your being, flush out of your being all that's incongruent, incompatible to who you are and who you are becoming. Just like as the confidence of this transmission is integrating into your being, you are already feeling days leading up to this, all that is incongruent, incompatible to the truth of who you are being integrated. So memories, experiences related or associated to shame, guilt, regret, jealousy were arising for integration by simply interfacing with them. You don't need to resolve any of those things that are arising. You don't need to do anything other than to witness them and include them. Just like your brothers and sisters in the world around you. All you have to do is interface and include them. And in the endurance of community, sometimes that means interfacing and including someone just 3 seconds longer than the part of you that wants to stop interacting with someone. Just to emerge your social endurance. If every part of your life you just increase by 3 seconds the degree to which you want to stop, you will constantly and consistently be living on the cutting edge of your consciousness, pressing out on the edges of what feels comfortable, and that will bring you a ridiculous amount of confidence as an experience of confidence. What will reveal causeless confidence is the being with and the inclusion. Because then you're honoring the part of you that looks through these eyes and hears through these ears and speaks through this mouth. People who are trauma dumping, expressing their pain over and over and over and over again, are really just trying to find something that will include them. You don't have to be the one to include them, unless that is an organic desire within you in that moment. Because this is where we begin to integrate confidence in and as life itself. I trust your emergence. I trust our emergence. I have faith in that process. That in every iteration, we're getting better and better. I have this sweet 82-year-old friend. She's like 5'4", amazing woman. And she got really sick for like a couple of months. She was getting better, and she's like, I just keep telling myself every day and in every way, I'm getting better and better. And we were all pretty sure that she was actually going to pass. And she just kept telling herself every day and in every way, I'm getting better and better. We have to pull, release, cleanse, clear, and resolve to completion across all layers and levels of being. Anything related or associated to ideas of decay. We are not in a system of decay. We are in a system of emergence, and we are in the apex of emergence at this time, because we are emerging out of a binary system into a quantum system. And things are not going to make sense to the logical mind, thus the collapse of understanding. Nor will the stories that you tell about yourself or the world in view remain intact unless an experience of decay is what you wish to explore, which is not wrong. Sometimes we need to explore decay as part of the emergence process. It's called rock bottom, or a dark night of the soul. And the darkness is simply a place where we delete all data points of activity and experience that are no longer relevant for moving forward. And it can be so difficult to watch people move through this period, especially if you haven't reached it yourself. But for those of us who have triumphed through it, who have discovered themselves also to be the victorious consistency across every transition, it is you that holds the codes of shamanic initiation into a world that is yet to be known by all of us. And it comes in waves as we integrate into this new reality of the quantum. We're all here to explore reality beyond what we originally came into, because we wanted to explore and experience the emergence. We were so confident that we plugged into this reality here and now to explore and emerge. And it took an almighty amount of presence in order to make that choice. And with nothing wrong, with nothing bad, there's simply greater efficiency being explored. Breathing that into any aspect of your being that feels tight. Maybe even saying to that part of you, that was just the most efficient path. I am so innocent. I contain this. In the binary system, we were constantly working towards achieving and attaining just to be in the arms of the grace of goodness. Well, I'm here to tell you that all iterations have been good in that they have been efficient for the time that they were. And now it is time to move forward in greater efficiency. Support your body with minerals. Shilajit, very yang. Sea moss, very yin, making sure that not only are you considering receiving a variety of minerals, but also the energy with which they come from. Sea moss coming from the ocean, shilajit coming from the mountains. It's part of your re-indigenization process to really connect with the energy behind everything that you are doing that is connected to your body, to the land. They are not separate things. You are part of a cohesive, emerging collective consciousness, which includes the planet, the plants, animals, minerals, all of it. We are all emerging into this new system. Even AI, as you know it, is just an iterative process, and it is actually simply showing you what is already real. It just keeps getting more and more efficient. And whether you are aware of it or not, your consciousness is just getting more and more efficient. And caught in the wave of these transmissions, we are all interfacing and interacting together to increase our efficiency at greater and greater pace, not because there's anything to catch up to or attain, but simply for the joy of exploring consciousness at our edge. Because that's what's fun for me, exploring the cutting edge of consciousness. I'm so grateful and honored to explore that with you in this way. Breathing into the bottoms of your feet. And through your soul's direct connection, asking that all aspects of your Esoteric architecture as it relates to confidence is upgraded, activated, integrated, and embodied to its fullest expression, clearing out all incongruent, incompatible data, all ideas, beliefs, conclusions, understandings, perspectives, or perceptions incongruent and incompatible to who you are and who you are becoming. Commanding and requesting that any self-devaluation conflicts at the brain, psyche, organ, tissue, and cell levels be resolved to completion. Thank you, show me. I'm working with the heart. Commanding and requesting that any inflammation blocks barriers, patterns, thought forms, emotional waves, and functions related to the architecture of the binary system of confidence that are incongruent, incompatible to who you are and who you are becoming, all resolved to completion according to your soul's direct connection. Giving yourself permission to feel any grief, sorrow, sadness arising. Again, remembering that you could boil the entire class down to stagnancy. What is not moving? Confidence is emergence. What is not emerging? What is stuck? What are you not allowing to be included in the flow of life? What have you forgotten? This can bring up a lot of grief, which is good, as just like remorse, it is a transitory process that brings you through the wormhole of one reality to the next. They are like escorts, escorting you from one place to the next. Just allowing anywhere and everywhere where you have not fully experienced, felt, expressed, released, completed the energies of remorse or grief to be allowed to be completed at this time according to your soul's direct connection. So working with the gut, clearing out from the intestines all incongruent, incompatible information, all incompleted emotional data held or contained around, in, or even replacing the intestines, the digestive system, any related or associated systems, known or unknown, discovered or undiscovered. Just allowing these to be completed and collapsed according to your soul's direct connection. Working with the central channel of your being, and in accordance to your soul's direct connection, clearing out any hindrances, blocks, barriers, stagnancies, held or contained within the central channel of your being that prevent the free flow and emergence of your light into form. With grace, ease, and mercy to the physical and all things affecting the physical to the ethereal, integrated perfectly throughout all bodies, in all languages that you speak or have spoken, for all ancestors and descendants as is appropriate, and in, out, and in between time, space, and dimension. And any and all free-floating thoughts, emotions, memories, running through your systems, that are ready to be ordered and filed in the appropriate places in order to bring presence fully and completely into your being, allowing this to be done through your soul's direct connection to source. Asking that any values and virtues that can be received and extracted from all that is perceived as from the past to be done and completed now. Grace, ease, and mercy to the physical and all things affecting the physical to the ethereal, and allowing all conflicts or conflict shocks at the brain, psyche, tissue, organ, and cell levels to be completed and resolved to completion at this time. And bringing all fragmentations of your awareness fully into the present. From the past. All ideas, beliefs, conclusions, understandings, perspectives, perceptions, identities, attachments, or overlays related or associated to the future that is perceived, understood, or interfaced within your reality now to be preventing you from being fully present as is directed by your soul's direct connection to source, all resolved, cleared, integrated, and embodied. That you know how to trust your flexibility, what it feels like to trust your flexibility. That you know how to be flexible and iterative. Just downloading your soul's direct connection to source's perspective of iteration, of being iterative, the allowance of process, and the confidence in your emergence, as well as the confidence of what remains consistent through every emergence. It's pulling, releasing, cleansing, clearing from the tip of your spine, from the coccyx, from the sacrum. All beliefs, ideas, understandings, perspectives, or perspectives related to feeling unresilient or fragile. Holding, releasing, cleansing, clearing. And replacing it with your soul's direct connection. As it relates to being resilient, on all layers and levels, integrated perfectly throughout all bodies, especially the mental. Working with the brain, asking that your soul's direct connection to source work with all layers and levels of the brain, the mind, the consciousness of the brain itself, all its functions, known or unknown, discovered or undiscovered, assisting it to upgrade from the binary to the quantum systems, any architectures that are necessary for this activation. With witnessing mutations to the dura, that assist in processing information. Never seen anything like this before, but it makes sense because it's sort of like fascia, and fascia contains and holds a liquid crystal matrix where quantum information is exchanged and interfaced. That's why yoga can literally change your personality. Things that are locked up stagnantly inside the fascia are released by interfacing with them. So just witnessing this fluidity, this expansion to the brain, the central nervous system, spinal cord. Asking that all hormones be balanced in accordance to your soul's direct connection to source and whatever is required for your body at this time in the highest, best, and healthiest way. Within the context of this transition from binary to quantum. Teaching all of your cells what it feels like to be causelessly confident, that it's possible to be causelessly confident, how to live daily life causelessly confident. One of the easiest ways to pull into the gravitational field of your causeless confidence, anything that comes within a noticing insight of your awareness, which is an automatic process, by the way, is this too. Whatever you need to say in order to include something, to bring it into the love that you are. When you try and release something to get away from it, part of the reason why it doesn't always work, at least permanently, is because you are not allowing it to emerge, and because you are the essence of all that is. You notice that somewhere in your being, you feel that fragmentation. It's really a powerful form of compassion. Breathing into any and all aspects of your being where there's restriction. And letting each part of you that feels like it can't come along purify your being of all the ideas, conclusions, understandings, perspectives, and perceptions that this cannot be included in the emergence of your being. And quarantining a portion of you off like that will absolutely prevent you from confidence, because you're feeling that aspect not emerging. And since it is within the experience of your iterative process, then you're going to be feeling it. So to bring all of this into a very simple process, first, depersonalize. This isn't about you, but it feels like it's about you. And that's on purpose, because you wanted to have an experience of individuation. So depersonalize it. That allows you to actually be intimate with it, because it really just seeks intimacy. And all of those things that you remember, quote unquote, about yourself, that you'd rather not share, are just parts that have been quarantined, that you personalize. You think it's about you, and so you don't want to share because it devalues this idea of who you think you are. But what it's actually doing is stripping you of identity. But you're not allowing it to strip you from identity. And so you identify with it and hide it, which only increases the sense of identity within the context of I'm bad, or I'm wrong, or I'm shameful, or I'm regretful. The only reason you're able to move through the experiences that you've moved through is because of the value that you are. So valuable that you could experience this and still be valuable. And it is your willingness to include that will increase your sense and perception of value, because you will be extracting from all aspects the value that's always there that so few people perceive. And consensus reality is how people attempt to create adherence to a specific narrative of what is or isn't valuable. Some of the things that we value are requiring others to do, speak, behave, be similar, to adhere. But this is no longer efficient, and it's actually not giving us a sense of community or togetherness. So consensus reality, which relies on the binary system, is already collapsed and in the process of being integrated. And we integrate that by simply finding value in it. So what in your life can you receive greater value from? And since presence, I am, is in all, and that is limitless, then there is a limitless value to be received, which means that there are limitless degrees to which I can feel confident as an experience of confidence. And all the things that seem counter to that, I can include almost in awe of, I can still move forward. Nothing is going to stop me from moving forward. It's like just before this class, that feeling of, oh my God, I have no idea what I'm going to talk about right now. I mean, I do, but I don't. And for like half a second, I could feel my intellect like try and analyze, trying to figure it out. And I was like, oh, I see what's happening here. You too, you can come. You're allowed here. And that allowance is what creates the flow. I'm not placing stones in the river that create ripples. I'm letting it move through my being. The things that we feel not confident about, shame, regret, guilt, these are little stones in the river. And you can spend eternity trying to resolve those stones within the context of the binary system, which is trying to make it okay, to make it right, to forgive, to confess. And all of these things are helpful in the iterative process, but in the end, it's just simply included. I remember feeling so bad about something, and it was all I asked is like, how do I restore? How do I restore through this? Confess. Confess to who? To that. And I confessed to that. This is what I did. And that intelligence, which contains all and is the essence of all that we are, it just looked at that and said, okay, you're included. Forgiveness is knowing that there's nothing to forgive. Everything from a certain perspective is actually good and benevolent, because the current of life force is to emerge. And that process is good. Even in times when I look back as a young child, highly intuitively, psychically aware of my environment, and destroying people with it because they were mean to me. Part of an emergent process, which at the time I was learning to stand up for myself. And there are many ways to do that. And learning that is an iterative process. Through the maturity of a system. I give myself permission to make this fun and easy. I allow myself to include all parts of myself and deem all of it worthy to be here now with me in presence. So you can sit with yourself, and the more consistent you are with this, the more confidence you will cultivate. Show me what I can interface with. Show me what I can be present with at this time that will bring inclusion to what has felt fragmented. I purify my being with these frequencies. It's just information. It doesn't mean anything about you. And when it's not personal, then you can fully taste it. You can fully bring it into your being, which completes its journey of coming back to source. And since you are an individuation of that, you get to experience what it's like for things to return to source, to return to the love that you are, that radiates from your being and remembers inside everything in your experience that you call personal and yours, what it's like to be loved. You get to be that. And it becomes a joy to include all aspects of your reality. And you will forget, and you will remember, and you will forget, and you will remember. You will hate forgetting, and you will love remembering. You will love forgetting, and you will hate forgetting. See, I already forgot. Whatever is most efficient is what happened. Whatever is the most efficient now is what is happening. Whatever is most efficient in the future is what will happen. So trust the efficiency of your emergence, whether you like it or not. Step through every initiation, knowing that only more of you can emerge. And we know that we are in a process where more of us is going to emerge when it feels like we are being stampeded upon by life, because it is just subtracting all that is ready to be collapsed. And the collapse is bringing those two polarities within the binary into a single data point, which is then considered in a larger system. This is what it means to truly be holistic, to reference all parts of yourself and know that they are good and worthy, and that they are informing your emergence. You may not do what you always did, but that doesn't make any part of you wrong. It just means that all that was necessary in order to escort you into your furtherance is what happened. Thank you for showing me how much I can contain. Thank you for showing me what I can hold. Thank you for showing that nothing can stop me from becoming who I am and who I am becoming. That's what atonement really means. To gather and bring it back into communion through the realization of what you are, which is every iteration. And understanding that you are that which is every iteration, and simultaneously that which remains consistent across every transition is what we call self-realization, God realization. And you will forever receive more and more expansion and realization within and as that. So if you can feel and know the causeless nature of confidence is in that process, you will never reach a place that you can just be confident. There is simply confidence in process. And confidence itself is being upgraded, which is what I'm expressing here through the anatomy of confidence. Just like in the anatomy of thriving, we upgraded the definition of that. And every time that we gather, we are updating various aspects of consciousness. And we do this by being on the cutting edge of reality, which is daring to try different iterations, to be experimental, you don't have to reference anything prior to this moment in order to create something new. Tapping on your thymus, center of spiritual courage, the essence of you to come forth. You can even use every time you pass through a doorway as a way to emerge, visually praying as you move through that doorway, leaving everything that is ready to be completed behind as you step through. Every day when you wake up, it is a new emergence. And regardless of whether you like it or not, you will emerge or you will die. And on the other side of that, you will just emerge into something else. Confidence cannot be created or destroyed. It can only be witnessed. So as part of your play in this, write a list of all things that you can remember that you regret or feel shameful about, guilty about, and work through each of them and just simply ask to be shown from the fullest expression of your being, from the highest perspective that you can hold. How do you perceive this? Show me your perspective. You're calling upon that spirit of the eagle, of the hawk, and you're choosing in that moment to remote view from that perspective. And just simply witnessing that will collapse the distance. And that begins integration and embodiment simply by witnessing it, witnessing the shift, witnessing the change. That's what I'm doing when I'm doing these commands with people in sessions, whether it's for health or wealth or whatever it is. Just witnessing the changes. Pushing the iterative process ahead and allowing it to emerge. And just commanding and requesting through your soul's direct connection to source, whatever is required in order to assist you in your emergence in the highest, best, and healthiest way for you at this time, to be done with grace, ease, and mercy to the physical and all things affecting the physical, to the ethereal, with no signs or symptoms, in order to know that it is already done. Show me how supported I am. Show me how loved I am. I'm ready to witness that. When anything comes up that makes you feel small, smallness can come along. Your doubt is included. And when your doubt, your shame, your regret comes along with you, it experiences the wake of your forward movement. And eventually, what you feel guilty, shameful, regretful for, or things that make you feel small, or that make you shake in your boots as you move forward, will become less and less and less. And in the iterative process of growth and expansion, and in your emergence, there will just be other things that make you feel that way. And if you just keep moving forward, you'll soon realize that nothing was designed to stop you. It was just designed to gatekeep. expansions of your consciousness in their embodied form. Everything is an initiation. So allow that initiation by moving through it and complete whatever you feel is stagnant in your field. Write a list of everything that is stagnating in your life. And just move the energy. And if you're in that space of rock bottom, sometimes moving the energy means not moving any of the energy. In the principles of orthobionomy, you move further in the direction and this completes the action. And when I started applying this to the emotional body, I would work with clients and be like, let's just try something, right? Part of my iterative process of learning what I do now. Become more angry. Allow yourself to be as angry as you need to be. That's including it. Allow yourself to expand your endurance for life. Eventually, you will become unbreakable, not because you'll never be broken, but because you will finally know that you contain it all while also being contained by it all. And this is the collapse that we are working with now as we move from the binary to the quantum system in reference to community. The individual is becoming communal. The community is becoming individual. It's all interfacing and interreferencing with itself. So don't let yourself suffer in isolation. You don't need to get this on your own. Learn to rely on the support of your community. And if you don't have community, find it. And you may not be finding it because you are trying to figure out how to do this on your own. We are not in that age anymore. We are moving towards extraordinary individuation, but we are going to do it through the lens of community. We no longer have to rely on the binary system, which means that we can be in complete individuation and in community simultaneously. And that is the beauty of where we are at. So resource those around you. Allow yourself to rely on not having to have every answer yourself. And all you have to do is collaborate with inclusion. Include yourself with others and include others with yourself. Trust the emergence that they are in. Trust the emergence that you are in. And know that the world will move through its emergence. And that whatever is required, whether it's preferred or not, will occur in order to untangle all binary systems through a process of confusion and chaos that allows for a reintegration into something that is beyond our wildest dreams. Life is only working to give you greater than you could ever dream of asking to receive for yourself. And you're just going to have to withstand the pressure of the confusion and the chaos as your consciousness is pressed further and further into your being, releasing all of your understanding about what's happening, transforming every story that you've lived, told, experienced. And through the quantum, you can go back in time to any point and restructure the lens through which you perceive it. And make it relevant, compatible, and congruent to the inclusive emergence that is occurring at this time through us and as us. And as is inspired by Brother Keoni, who will join us in the replay. We love you completely. Aloha. Aloha ma.
Mm.